This is JJ Solomon.
This Corey Bradshaw, Mr. RTBA. Mr. These boys can't touch me on my worst day. And this is the Spit Bucket Podcast.
It's your boy, Mr. RTBA, Mr. 214, Senor Dos, Uno Cuatro, Senor Dos, Cator say, Mr. Undeniable, Mr. These boys can't touch me. On my worst day, right here with my dog, my partner in crime, my brother from another, Mr. JJ Solomon. What's poppin', my guy?
How are you, Mr. IOTBA, dog? How's it going, bro?
Hey, man, you know how we coming, man. Hey, it been a minute, bro, but we back.
We are back, bro. Episode 49, man. But yeah, it's most definitely been a minute, dog. And man, I miss you and I miss this and I miss everything, dog.
Yeah, man, we know, but sometimes life coming away and sometimes you got to put things on pause. They're just a part of life. But the beautiful thing about it is we ain't been doing shows for no reason. We got some beautiful things that's happening and that's coming along. It's the reason why, and that's way more important, than us doing our show.
Yeah, sure. It's not like we just sitting on our asses, not doing nothing. Like I'm fortunate, blessed, absolutely. But it's just these things, obviously I got the baby on the way, so it's just been planning with that. Then had a little bit of a career change. Like, believe it or not, we got bills to pay. We're not talking about boxing. We got families and mouths to feed, so made a little bit of a career change and getting my feet settled, dog, and getting situated there. So I've been in over my head, dog. But shit, I've been missing you and I've been missing everybody, man. I've been missing everybody.
Man, absolutely. We miss you, JJ.
Shout out to George.
What's popping, George?
And we got AJ64. Salute, brother.
AJ, what's popping, my guy?
Well, great. Man. So, dog, what do you think? Do you want to jump right into boxing?
We could start actually with that heartbreaking victory that the Eagles got last night. Like, Jesus, number 11, can you catch the damn ball?
Yeah, bro, that was. I'm so sick of Philly, dog. And call me a hater, I don't care. Call me a hater. I'm so sick of them, dog, because, bro, they're not that good. I know that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Eyeball test again, like, they are not that good.
Hey, JJ, should that tush push be illegal?
Bro, listen, guys, we have not talked at all. Yeah. This should be illegal, bro. There should be nothing in this league that's automatic. Listen, if you get a penalty for using your a man's leverage to block a field goal, if that's a penalty, then this is a penalty because you're using somebody else's leverage. This isn't blocking for the guy behind you. This is the guy behind you pushing you. So this is team forward motion. Like that, because that's what they say, right? When forward motion is stopped, that's when the ball is stopped. It should be when your forward motion stops, not when the whole damn team of 11 comes and fucking
push it. Yeah,
pounds already, dog. It's stupid, bro.
Yeah, totally agree, man. I think that's super illegal. Like you just stated, man. If you're gonna get a penalty when you're pushing to try to block an extra point or jumping, over to try to make a play, how is this tush push allowed to carry on? I think it's real unfortunate that the NFL has let this go on for 2 years when we see that it's getting penalties in different areas if you do it on the defensive side. So how is that okay for, like you say, for them 11 guys to push this guy when he stopped?
It's crazy. Automatic. And then they're being so ticky-tack with lining up in the neutral zone. Like, these defenders are trying to get any kind of advantage they can get. We sound like a...
Hold on, Jay.
Oh, shit. Welcome back to
Yeah, we back. We back. Yeah.
what, we
But
sound
yeah,
like
the
a crybaby,
defenders,
right?
like you said, what you was at when you said defenders trying to get any advantage they can.
Yeah, and then it's a 5 yard penalty. We've seen it happen multiple times with Cowboys this year, but I know I sound like a crybaby. That tush push,
No,
I would be saying that if it was anybody. Like there should be nothing in professional sports that's an automatic, like the extra point. They moved that back 20 yards or whatever because it was too automatic. There should be nothing in sports that's automatic. And yeah, this is one team that's mastered it. I can see both sides of the argument, but bro, that is
but look, Jay, since last year, when that was allowed, the Eagles are 52 for 57, including the playoffs, JJ. That's cheating.
I feel like such a crybaby, dog. I feel like a crybaby, but dog, it ain't fun to watch. It's not fun to watch. It's you never want to get in front of a TV watching professional sports saying this is automatic. It just takes away, bro. It takes away from for me the integrity. I know I sound like a bitter ass Cowboys fan, but yeah,
Yeah, but like speaking of that, the Eagles won. They beat the Chiefs Super Bowl rematch. Regular season don't really count. They
okay.
moved to 9-1. Shout out to our Dallas Cowboys, 7-3. Another impressive performance, 33-10 over the Carolina Panthers. We got a defensive back in Bland who done took home 4 pick
How,
sixes
dog?
this year, JJ.
That's crazy.
And look, Jay, this is my thing right here. Like, is this guy better than Travion Diggs?
He seems more disciplined. You know what I mean? Like he ain't getting burned like Diggs would get burned. Diggs would go all in, go all out, and sell out to what he wanted, but that would bite him in the ass sometimes. I don't want to come out here and be overreaction JJ and say, yeah, but hey man, the proof could be in the pudding. So hey, instead of putting up against each other, I can't wait till Diggs is back.
Yeah.
Oh, that bro, our secondary is gonna be something to really be respected, dog. Who the hell thought we'd be sitting here talking about Bland?
Man, nobody. And, that been a fifth round pick that a diamond in the rough, like, Brock Purdy was a diamond in the rough. Him getting picked with the last pick of the draft last year, us getting Bland last year in the fifth round, a diamond in the rough. But I want to speak on this on the Cowboys because, us being America's team, the most scrutinized position is the quarterback position. And the most scrutinized quarterback is always going to be the Dallas Cowboys quarterback if you're not producing. Now, JJ, Dak deserved a lot of criticism, over the last year and a half. He played, he made a lot of mistakes. But Dak this year has been showing up and showing out. And Dak is playing on the MVP level right now to where he's getting everybody involved. He's making the right play now. His anticipation to his receivers is like something that we've been looking for Dak. Dak is picking and choosing when he run the ball now to get us that first down. Like this guy is playing amazing. And like I say, I know it's just the regular season, but we scrutinize him about the regular season. But what this guy's doing right now, he deserves a lot of respect.
He deserves credit. Yeah, he does. And my automatic angry Cowboys fan response to that would be, yeah, but who are we beating? I want to see it when it matters. I want to see it in January, and I want to see it against the top teams in the league. But with that being said, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do against lesser competition, and that's making smart decisions. That's not turning the ball over. That's making the obviously picking and choosing when he's going to pull the ball down and run with it. So he's making all the right moves, and the scores are reflecting it. We are doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing to that kind of competition. But again, dog, just like I'm giving the Eagles a bullshit clap for being 9-1, and that like it means nothing to me where I am as a Cowboys fan. Yeah, I'm excited. We won, blah blah. We whooped that ass, but we've been here before. I'm using all this to start to get ready for the cold months in January, and let's see what we can put together. So yeah, absolutely, we're playing lights out. let's see if we can string it together, man, and close the damn show this year. Everything is lining up. Even Jimmy Johnson is getting put into the Ring of Honor.
Another thing that
There's got to
hey,
be some spiritual karma, something happening for us.
I'm glad you brought that up, JJ, because that's a moment for every Dallas Cowboys fan around the world who was able to bless to see them get the 3 Super Bowls with the Dallas Cowboys, and we knew the rift for years between him and Jerry Jones, where it seemed like this guy would never get put in, or Jerry Jones will have to die before one of the other family members put him in. But for Jerry and him to come together and have that moment like that, that was big, not only for Cowboys Nation, but for everybody who was a part of the NFL.
I can't wait, bro. December 30th. December 30th, we finally get to see Jimmy Johnson. And look, dog, it's been 20-something years of me saying this has to be some sort of curse. Maybe that's that last piece of karma that Jerry needs to get over that ego.
That
That
makes sense.
killer ego, that maybe shit can start to line up for a Cowboys Nation. Because God, it's been too damn long, man. But
yeah, man, I'm just looking forward
yeah,
to the
let's
rest
look
of the
forward.
season. Football is great, especially when the Cowboys winning. You know, just like basketball is great when the Lakers are winning. Baseball is great when the Yankees is winning. You know, so I'm just happy. You know, the football season is going great right now. But JJ, last Thursday night, we had Shakur Stevenson take on Dela Santos, Edwin Dela Santos. JJ, before this fight, it was a consensus, like 99.999999999% of the world.
It's coming in it.
Of the world. You know, they had Shakur coming in here to wash this guy, right? And it was the total opposite. Now, Jay, when I tell you this is one of the most boring fights I've ever seen in my life, you know, it's at the top. And another thing, JJ, for a guy who talks as much trash as he do outside the ring leading up to the fight, for a guy to go in there and put on a boring performance like that, Jay, that was unacceptable for Shakur Stevenson, and his stock has plummeted. JJ, speaking of his stock, Bob Arum came out and stated, Shakur, great defensive fighter. Great, but he's not exciting to the eye. You know, in boxing, it's hard to get this guy a matchup. We're going to see what we could do from here. And Jay, when I tell you, Shakur Stevenson, it's really going to be hard for this guy if he continues with this same style, you know, to get a fight. I think it was absolutely hideous, the performance he put on. And I think Shakur showed the world from the 214 to the across the pond. When he's in there with a puncher, he don't like to get hit, and he's going to be as defensively cautious as he can, and that's not what helps your brand grow. Some people say a W is a W. JJ, in boxing, a W is not a W, because the consumers, the public, the media, the real bosses of boxing, if you're not putting on a performance to our eye, that's going to, especially after you come out and say F the media, right? And if you go in and put on a performance like that, and if you are stink up the whole joint like that, that's not going to make people want to come see you. That's not going to make people want to cover you. And then especially the excuses after the fight, Jay.
I can see you've been letting this brew, dog. Listen, for the record, me and Correa ain't spoke at all about this. Like I said, I've been drowning in work. So I've seen a little bit of comments here on social media here and there, but this is first time for these ears to hear this frustration, this disappointment. But man, like, it's just one fight. I agree. Everything you said. Everything you said. That fight was a snoozer. I usually get mad when people say that was a boring fight, because it's usually casuals who didn't see a fight that was just all offense. But no, this wasn't that, man. This was a, an intentional low active fight. It was boring. You can call it possibly an injury. You know, I know you brought up Bob Arum comments, but Bob Arum also said that Shakur was dealing with a shoulder injury. He acknowledged it was a stinker in Bob Arum's words. But I get all of that. But it's just one fight, dog. Let's say there's no injury, even if it's just a bad day in the office. We've all had one. I remember a few months ago after Errol Spence took the ass whooping of a lifetime, you were saying, hey, he already handed out 28 ass whoopings. He's due one. It's fine. He can have a bad night. Only difference is Errol's bad night ended up with us questioning if he should ever fight again. Shakur's bad night, hey, he still got the W. And I don't I will tell you what it does. It does because I was saying at first, Shakur beats Tank. Hands down, my money's on it. I'm gonna kill it on that day. That fight obviously is a lot closer to me now. But say what you want. Edwin is a big puncher. He couldn't touch him, dog. He still couldn't touch him. So, big picture, Shakur got the W. He got the strap. But you're right. It was a snoozer. It ain't going to sell any tickets. I'm not mad at it, though, dude. It's just one fight. All of us had a bad day in the office. Every single one of us.
Hey, listen, no. It can't, listen, when you're on a national platform like that on a Thursday night, and especially leading up to the fight, it's much trash talk. As Shakur Stevenson was saying how he was going to do this, how nobody want to fight him, and to go in there and intentionally not engage. And I don't want to hear nothing about no shoulder injury. I want everybody to go back and rewatch that fight. I want y'all to see how hard Kurt Stevenson was throwing that left hand on the inside, JJ. He was throwing that left hand extremely hard. Now, and another thing, Shakur Stevenson said he wasn't going to make no excuses. This guy said, oh, don't congratulate me because I didn't put on a great performance, right? So he acknowledged that. But then we come with all these excuses. Oh, my shoulder. Oh, in my hand. Oh, I'm still the best fighter in the world. No, you're not, Shakur. And I understand now. I understand now. That's not a guy who the public wants to watch. And that's not a guy who will be watched if he don't change his style of fighting. JJ, listen, if this guy stay defensively like that and not want to engage and not want to put on a performance for the real bosses of boxing, Shakur is going to stay where he's at for a long time until he's able to change up his style that's going to afford him the opportunity. I understand you said, I said that about Errol Spence. But like you said, Errol Spence got beat up bad. JJ, that was a religious ass whipping that Errol Spence got. This was a guy and he was going against Terrence Crawford. That was a pound for pound fight. This was a guy in Edwin De Los Santos who nobody knew. Let's just be honest. JJ, listen, no, the diehard, most diehard boxing fans didn't know who he was. And for Shakur to go in there and perform like that, JJ, Shakur ain't the guy who we thought he was.
No, I'm not gonna change. I'm not gonna change everything I think about a guy because of a bad night in the office. Not at all. I mean, look what he did to Valdez. Look what he did to Herring. Like he's a 3-time champ now. Like a bad night, he still controlled the fight. He was never in any trouble, and that was his bad night. It was an awful night. I'm not defending him whatsoever, but Shakur is still, in my opinion, a big part of the future of boxing. Like,
no, he's not. JJ, with his arrogant ways that he have. See, this is the thing right here. Shakur is a real arrogant person. It's okay to be confident.
A lot of them are.
No, it's okay to be confident. But arrogance and the way he's been arrogant after the shit show he put on, that show exactly who Shakur is. Shakur is letting us know, I'm not going to change the way I do stuff. I'm going to stay like this. And I'm going to show you how hard it's going to be for a guy who fight as defensive as Shakur fight to get a big-time deal. All this money that Shakur talking about is not going to be there, JJ, because nobody wants to watch that. I'm not saying Shakur ain't no good fighter. What I'm telling you is Shakur is a disappointment from the abilities that we see that he could be, especially going in there with a guy like that. This wasn't no guy that anybody from the 214 to across the pond expected this to be a matchup. This was a matchup that Shakur was supposed to watch this guy, right?
Yeah, but
And we must hold him accountable for that. We got to.
he will have his day to come back. Listen, Tank Davis and AJ64, you know, I feel like you were a little upset with Shakur as well, too, just based on the comments. Shout out to Mill City Boxing, man. Appreciate you tuning in. AJ64 brought up the Tank and the Pitbull fight, and that's what I was going to bring up. Tank did fight Pitbull with one hand. A lot of people, which I don't agree with, thought Pitbull won that fight, but that fight introduced a new superstar in boxing because Tank had an off night. Like, a lot of real boxing fans know what Pitbull is, and Pitbull knows what he is. That's why he's turning down all these fights with a lot of these guys, including Shakur Stevenson, because he just wants to come out for that big payday against Tank Davis.
I see why.
But Tank Davis's one payday created a star, or one bad day created a star. Now, bro, Edwin De Los Santos is a dangerous puncher, bro, and you know he knows Shakur. Like, I'm not excusing. I just want to make a couple of points, but you got to be careful to either crown somebody great from one night. Example: George Kambosos, Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez had a bad night in the office. Now that changed the damn direction of the entire lightweight division, because now Kambosos is the undisputed champ, the man to beat the man, and all that blah 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 stuff that we all know.
So was it a bad night, or did Kambosos just beat Teofimo?
I think it was lightning in a bottle for Kambosos. I think Kambosos and
Kambosos, but he clearly won that fight, JJ.
But he clearly is not going to do that again. He clearly had nothing to offer against Devin.
But styles make fights, though, right?
For sure. And one could argue that Edwin De Los Santos has Shakur's number, but it was just one night.
I know, but JJ, this is what I'm saying. The night that it was, Jay, that was bad. Shakur has taken a major hit, JJ, a major hit. Like, listen, all that talk he doing, we don't believe him no more. Like, JJ, I don't believe that this guy is better than Devin Haney right now. I don't believe that this guy is better than Tank Davis right now. I don't believe that this guy can beat them right now. When Shakur Stevenson talks like what he is, what I seen, he ain't really like that. Because just imagine, if you think De Los Santos could punch, we know Tank Davis could. Mm-hmm. What is he going to do against Tank Davis and JJ?
I got something for that.
But people had a lot of criticism of Devin Haney, including yourself. You was real critical of Devin Haney. That was one of your main reasons why you said Shakur will win the fight. But JJ, if we look at Devin Haney is way more offensive than Shakur. He's just as good defensive against him. And the Shakur I seen, I don't think, as of right now, could beat the Devin Haney. I just don't see it.
He had a bad night, dog. Look, response to your Tank Davis comment. Yeah, Tank has 2 bombs that, you know, he carries around with him to these fights. Tank is also a counterpuncher. Tank will sit there and start getting behind on the scorecards because he knows he's about to time the shit out of you and end the night. So I'm saying all that because I think this Tank Davis Shakur fight could be another boring ass fight. Because Tank, we've not seen Tank fight somebody with footwork. We've not seen it. So Tank is not going to be throwing first. Tank is going to be waiting for Shakur to throw. It could be another boring ass fight where Tank is waiting to land the money shot and Shakur's his way away from the money shot. Tank is not going to press a fight against Shakur. He can't.
Tank does press the fight, JJ. Stop.
Not against with somebody.
JJ, he will
press a fight.
No, what I'm saying, he will press the fight. Is Shakur gonna want to fight, right? That's the key factor. Tank will press the fight. Is Shakur want to fight? That's why that fight right there ain't a fight nobody want to see right now. I don't want to see it.
No.
I don't. Shakur proved to me that he do a lot of talking outside of the ring. I like Shakur Stevenson. Love his grandfather, right? But he got to get this work. He got to get the truth serum. He proved that he is a guy when he's in there with a puncher, right? He is very resistant of a puncher. Like JJ, that guy was swinging at Shakur. It looked like this dude damn near fell trying to hurry up and get to the other side of the ring, JJ. And I understand this one night. But a guy is who a guy is, right? And with me looking at Shakur Stevens as great defensively as he is, they say he probably got the greatest percentage, 13 or 16. Which AJ, if you that great, why you ain't taking more chances offensively if you that great defensively, right? And JJ, if you that great defensively, right? How do we even know Shakur that great defensively? Because Shakur don't get in the pocket and really fight. We know the great defensive fighters in Pernell Whitaker, Floyd Mayweather. We know them guys really had defense because they'll get in there and fight. I don't know.
Shakur does get in the fight. I would challenge that. Shakur stood in there toe to toe with Valdez, bro. Same thing with Jameer. Like when he, bro.
But my thing with Valdez, Jay, not to cut you off, he was a guy who got known for popping steroids. So I don't know, like
all the reason to stay the hell away from him.
No, but they called him before that. So I don't know, like how good Valdez really was, because when you got to get on that word shit, you need an extra advantage. So to me, Valdez was having an extra advantage over all his other people he was fighting. When he fought, he wasn't on that word shit. So I don't know. I'm not taking nothing away from Shakur, but like I said, I can't trust how good a fighter is when they get caught popping their word stuff in.
All right. Well, now, yeah, that's a whole different conversation. No, man, I want to make it clear. I'm a big Shakur supporter for sure. But on that night, that weekend, when Vegas was shut down for races and you had all these new eyeballs in the building, like we heard firsthand, shout out to the gentleman from Boxing and Barbecue who was saying that there's people walking out from these fights. Those people were new fans who were in town for the race, said, "Oh, look, honey, there's a fight on tonight." And they went and watched the fight. Guys probably in from overseas and went to watch the fight because that's what you do in Vegas. You do the shows, and they turn right back around. So look, that's two superstars from Top Rank that have shit the bed for boxing. We haven't even talked about the other one in Tyson Fury not too long ago, who just embarrassed the sport. Shakur, I know you. It sounds like there was some issues, whether it was your shoulder or whether Edwin De Los Santos just is a bad style matchup for you. It was a bad look for your brand. In the same breath, I'm gonna say, dog, it was just one night. He got away with the W after a bad, lousy performance. He knows it was a bad performance, which tells me he's gonna get to the drawing board.
But why he ain't holding accountability, Jay? Why he ain't accepting accountability?
He's a kid, bro. He's a kid.
No, he ain't no kid.
He's a kid getting a lot of press.
No, he ain't no kid. He's 26 years old. He think he know everything. When you try to tell Shakur something, well, I disagree. I think in every interview, nobody can't say nothing to Shakur. I disagree. He's not a kid. This dude is 26, going on 27. That's a grown-ass man who got a child. He's a super grown-ass man. He's not a kid, JJ. He's not that.
I mean, obviously he's not 19 years old, but listen, I want to say something. Shout out to Bill Haney and Devin Haney for lining up their career so damn excellently. Like, because look at this. We can now say that Shakur, follow me. You look confused as hell. Shakur his stock is plummeted. Shakur will be lucky to get 25% against Devin now, because now Devin's gonna say, "What are you bringing to the table? Now you're a boring fighter." His stock is plummeting. He should have taken that money. And on the other note, you have Devin Haney taking another risk after he took a risk against George Kambosos. Like, he's just doing great move after great move. The Lomachenko fight, however you had that fight scored, that was Devin Haney's best performance to date. Now he's fighting somebody who a lot of people say is dangerous. I'm not putting that much. I think Devin Haney is going to run away with the fight against Regis. And now I think they just fucking brilliantly position themselves to be the class at 135 and the class at 140, bro. And they're going to make all the money. They're going to get all the fight, and they're going to control their own destiny, dude. Shakur messed up, man, and Bill's doing a hell of a job with Devin.
I'm glad you brought up Bill Haney. See, this is another Bush League move that Shakur did today. Shout out to my dog Ether the Black Picasso. He sent me this, right? I guess somebody released text messages of Shakur Steve. They say, why you didn't take this 25? You should have took the 25%. He say, you could come spar right now and we could put a meal on it. JJ, now we talk. Do that sound like a guy who got a shoulder injury? JJ, do that sound like a guy? And I'm gonna send it to you. Do that sound like a guy?
I seen it. When was it?
Who ain't hurt? JJ, why do he want to fight? He want to spar for $1 million, but then take the 25%. JJ, this dude is out of control. They just call it for what it is. Shakur is a hothead who out of control, who is real arrogant and think he is bigger than what he is. Let's call it how we see it. He was not hurt. If he ready to spar a dude, and he was talking about his shoulder, my shoulder or his wrist hurt, why you ready to put a meal up and spar? This guy was not hurt, JJ.
Just a bad night in the office then.
No, but Bob Arum said he was hurt. Shakur said, I'm not gonna make no excuses. He put out a tweet, babe, I'm not feeling that good, babe, to try to show the world or justify, JJ,
I'm not saying. Yeah, Corey's a youngster, dog. He's a youngster making stupid. Corey, you ever had a bad day in the office, dog?
JJ,
you ever had a bad sales
listen, JJ, look, this ain't about me, right? This is
about you. No,
I know, but this
feel
ain't,
if
I get that. Yes, I had a bad day, but and I got reprimanded for it too, just like Shakur getting reprimanded for it now. JJ, this ain't about a bad day in the office. This is about a guy like, shout out to Boxing and Barbecue, who said people were walking out that fight on the biggest race weekend that there could be, JJ. That is a testament.
I agree. One, that fight, Corey, I have watched, I wish I knew the exact number, but I've watched so many fights. That is probably the boringest fight I've ever seen. And part of it is because I was looking forward to it so much. And I think we were talking, bro. When we said Shakur needs to make a statement. Me and you had a private conversation that day.
What did you do?
Like, me and you spoke, me and my pop spoke, same shit. Like, he needs to make that statement now. You turned away or you rejected that 25%. You need to make a statement. So I was at the edge of my seat. And even in the fight, remember I was texting you, he's about to take over. Oh, he's about to take over. He's about to take over. Never happened. Boringest fight. If you were hurt, you should have stayed home.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
How does your pop feel about that fight?
Oh, bro.
Shout out to Jose Sr. How did he feel about that fight, JJ?
Bro, everybody.
Do he want to watch Shakur Stevenson again?
No. Everybody, my father-in-law was like,
how does your father-in-law feel?
Yeah. Like, everybody's like, Shakur ain't shit. Now I'm the one sitting here defending Shakur Stevenson. I'm not. It was a terrible fight. But how many fighters we know have had a bad day, dog? Especially this early in the career.
JJ, when you supposed to be
comments real quick. Mosquito spray. What's up with it, brother?
What's up, mosquito spray?
AJ again. He said Tank made Pitbull somewhat a star. George, I'm on my way to both y'all's houses with some 9-volt batteries.
That was my house, George.
All right. And then let's see. I'm just kept making sure we ain't missing anything, man. But anyway, yeah. I'm not defending that performance, man. But Shakur's gonna be fine. Shakur's legacy is gonna be just, bro. He's a 3.
I don't know.
There's a lot more to come. I just feel like he's been bugging people the wrong way.
I don't know. I agree with Jose Sr. I agree with your father-in-law. I don't know, JJ. Listen, this is a guy who we look at as special, right? This is a guy who Jose Jr., not Jose Sr., because me and him is on the same accord. This is a guy who Jose Jr. said was the class of the class. That what you talk.
I'm standing on it, bro.
You start making me believe that. Like, because I was on the fences, but you start making me believe that, Jay. Now, when it's a guy who's supposed to be special like that, right? You don't be special when we never seen Floyd Money Mayweather, a pretty boy Floyd, in his young 20s, all the way to 30, from the start to 30. We never seen pretty boy Floyd look like that against just another guy. This wasn't the second fighter. This was the third, the fourth, the fifth. It was the sixth fighter down the list, JJ. And like I said, Shakur showing who he really is, right? Because if you acting like that, you know, it was about.
What would you be telling Shakur if you were in his corner after that fight? Like, what would you be your homeboy advice to him?
I would have to tell Shakur, you got to stop. Of course, we want you to be defensively responsible, Shakur. But Shakur, I'm your partner, and listen, I'm with you. I'm riding with you 100%. Listen, if I'm in this corner, Shakur, like Boxing and Barbecue said, I seen everybody walking out the ring, Shakur, out the station, because Shakur, you was just in there playing patty cake, baker, man, you know. So I would tell Shakur is good, so-called good as defense, because I don't know how good as defensive he is. I don't know. Because we know how the good defensive fighters is when they in the pocket and they're really fighting, right? So I don't know. But if I'm his handler, I tell him, dude, you have to be more offensively aggressive. If Shakur is who you say he is, Jay, you know he got to be more offensively aggressive to go into that detention. Because right now, the pace he ain't gonna get no big fights. As a matter of fact, JJ, I think probably Keyshawn Davis is gonna be more of a bigger star than Shakur Stevenson.
I mean, no.
And JJ, the reason why I say
We
that,
already questioning Keyshawn
no,
into his
no,
ninth
I
fight.
understand. I understand he like to smoke weed and look, but Jay, I'm telling you, his style. We know this. He got the skills. But JJ, his style is offensively aggressive. Dude like to fight and like to knock you out. Like that's what people want to see. That why you think Bob Arum saying, I don't know, I can't do nothing with Shakur.
Bob knows that ain't selling. That don't sell.
So
It won't sell.
Shakur not gonna be on top rank after one more fight. Then who he gonna go to? You think people gonna be reaching out there saying Shakur because this guy ego, Superman, to infinity and beyond ego, gonna think he worth more money than he actually is, JJ, and that's where he gonna fall short. So I don't know where Shakur gonna go
Yeah.
from here unless Shakur gets more offensively aggressive. He is a good fighter, Jay. But for him to be a great fighter and to have the fans come out and to go down in history, he has to be more offensively aggressive. Like you can't let somebody throw a punch and you jumping all the other ring like you running to do the people's elbow. You can't
So
do that.
how would you? And shout out to George. I really like Shakur a lot, but this last fight was ass. Mr. TBA has a point. If you're top dog, then you're always the top dog.
Yep.
And I feel that. I feel that. Like, see, but I see it. Like it wasn't like he was just Adrian Broner getting in his shell when Adrian Broner was getting boring. He was at least. No. I'm not even gonna go down that lane because no, that fight was ass. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. That fight was ass. Shakur needs to do better. If you're hurt, stay your ass home. You need to be bringing people to your fights. People don't need to be leaving your fights.
But JJ, how you feel about him saying he was hurt, but then putting up that text message saying, "Come spar for $1 million right
When
now"?
was that text message though?
It was just recent, JJ.
It was after the fight.
It just happened. It just. Oh, it was. It was. You sure?
I think because he said he's in Houston getting ready for the fight. So if he was in Houston, that means he was prepping for what you call it. For he was training.
So
I don't give a shit. I mean, let's say he wasn't injured, bro. Like it was just a bad day.
That performance don't look like a top 10 pound for pound fighter to me.
I agree.
He came out. Look, I know we got to do our list. Like, but just me personally, because we do it together. Like, I don't see this dude as a top 10 pound for pound fighter no more. I just don't.
What have you done? What have you done for me lately? And after that fight, I have no problem taking off that. We had put him on our list, but hey, like I said, this list changes. It's an ever changing list. And if you fall off, well, then it's up to you to get your ass back on there. And for me, I agree with you. After that performance, injuries or not, or whatever, it was a bad night in the office. And for that, hey, you fall down. And I think he expects that shit too.
And look,
I
Jay,
think
I
he
disagree
expects
with
it.
you on Haney versus Prograis. I think this fight gonna be closer than what you think. Like
Let,
this. Uh-huh. Oh, we're gonna go to a break real quick.
no. Let's talk
Let's
about
take
it.
a little quick break.
No, I'm
Return to
good. Let's talk about it.
yeah, real quick, JJ.
All right, let's take a quick break. All right, hold on. All right, listen up, guys. We're calling all Little League coaches. We're calling all middle school coaches, calling all high school coaches. We're calling out all those team mamas. If you need team uniforms, if you need jerseys, accessories, whatever gear you're looking for the team, please check out our friends over at Elite Sportswear. These guys do it all, and they do it great. So if you're needing a brand new look for the younger athletes, for the teams, do me a favor, trust us with Elite Sportswear. These guys do all of our gear here at Spit Bucket Podcast, hats, shirts, hoodies. We could not be more pleased with them. So check them out over at thebetteruniform.com. You can find them on Facebook at The Better Uniform or on Instagram, Elite Sportswear 17. That's Elite Sportswear 17 on Instagram. Again, if you want your team looking super fly on game days, do yourself a favor, do the squad a favor. Call Roderick and the team over at Elite Sportswear ASAP. Let them know the Spit Bucket Podcast sent you. Much love to the homies over at Elite Sportswear. Y'all check them out at the Better Uniform.
Shout out to Elite Sportswear. And also, we need everybody to check, especially if y'all my real partners on here, if y'all rock with me. And JJ, if y'all are real partners, right? We need y'all to go on the spitbucketpodcast.com. We got all this merchandise on there. And we need y'all to go pick out, I ain't telling y'all to go buy 5 or 6 things. Just go pick out one thing and support the movement. And also, anything that y'all could help, that notification, to help donate if y'all want to. Donate there. I know we got the Cash App, the Spit Bucket. Can you put that up, JJ?
Yeah.
We got the Cash App, the Spit Bucket Podcast, the Spit Bucket $, the Spit Bucket, like whoop whoop. It's on there. Just look at it. It's going across the screen. So if y'all want to support, help this movement keep going. Yeah, y'all just look out for us.
We still doing our thing. We still got Ryan Garcia coming up, but B Hop is committed to come back to the show for next week, so we got that coming up. So we still doing our thing, and we just would appreciate it if y'all help us get to that next level. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. Now I disagree. Let's get into this. We got a big fight coming up. On what? Okay, well, yeah, a big fight coming up because we'll come back to Ryan. We'll talk.
Yeah, listen, let everybody know we catching up. It's been a minute, so this is gonna be out of order. So, like we said in the beginning, this will be just follow us.
So this is a big fight to me coming up. I don't think it's pay-per-view worthy. I think Devin Haney and Regis Prograis should be ashamed of themselves for just being regular known fighters. They ESPN, fighters for putting this fight on pay-per-view. I think that's why boxing is failing because everybody don't know them guys. Look, do I got love and respect for both of them? Yeah, but they regular fighters who shouldn't be on ESPN. But it's a big fight though, right?
Definitely.
And I know I totally disagree with you. You stated that Devin Haney is just going to come up here and outclass Regis Prograis. I definitely don't see that happen. I'm not saying that Devin Haney couldn't be the victor. He's the betting favorite. Especially how he looked against Loma and how Prograis looked against Zorilla. I think that's his name. But this Devin Haney first fight at 140, right? And he dealing with a full-fledged 140, a guy who hungry, a guy in Regis Prograis who been looking for this type of moment, for a long, long time. And this is a guy who could punch. I understand Devin Haney's quick on his feet. He has that long jab. But my thing in boxing, you got to give a little to get a little. And I know for sure that Regis Prograis know in his heart that he has to go in this ring and do whatever to win this fight, because this is his moment right here, JJ. Listen, if he misses on this moment right here, it ain't gonna be too many moments there for Regis Prograis. So I see him coming in this fight, taking more chances, and I think this fight gonna be closer than what a lot of people think. I think this fight could go either way. I seriously think that.
I see why you think that, bro. Like, I mean, Regis is a dangerous fighter and he's an awkward fighter, but I just think at the end of the day, this is the one sport where you can't your your lack of experience, you can't make it up. You can't just feel and Regis got started late, and Devin has been doing it since he was a boy. Devin has always known he was going to be a world champ. He didn't have to wait till he was in his 20s. Um, I just think that there's levels to this game, and that's not taking anything away from any one of these champs. But there's levels to this game. I think Devin Haney and Bill Haney have a beautiful plan. I don't think they're. I think the only way this fight gets out of hand for Devin is if he's overlooking Regis. But I will be shocked if this fight goes to score this decision. I'll be shocked if one judge sees it, and this is knowing how shady boxing is. I'll be shocked if it's not a unanimous decision. Like, I just don't see Prograis, besides having that ability to touch you. I just don't see him getting close enough. I just don't think he's gonna be able to work that distance, bro. It's gonna be a lot of swinging and missing, and when he's inside, Devin's going to do what Devin does, and this is not a knock on Devin. It's a smart strategy against somebody like Regis. You're going to tie him up, and it's. I just don't think it's going to be close, bro. I think Devin's going to outclass him, and again, I think the narrative after this fight is now Devin. We should be start talking about him top 5 pound for pound, because look at how he beat Regis. I think they know what they're doing.
Deservingly so. Deservingly so. He should get talked about if he be the guy in Regis Prograis. Now, key factor, Devin, yeah, he could try to tie up in the inside, which he could possibly do, but he going up against a strong man. You know, he gonna really. This ain't the 135s who Devin Haney was, bigger than, where he could tie them guys up. He going against a guy in Regis Prograis who legs are like oxes. This dude has real power, and to come in there and try to tie him up, it's gonna take some work, and you're gonna take some punches trying to do that. The one thing I say about Devin Haney, what I like about him, right? Because that's the reason why he's intrigued in the fight now. He's been taking a lot more chances, because that's how, if you want to be a superstar in boxing, that's what you got to do. You got to take a lot more chances. And with him taking a lot more chances, we done seen Devin Haney get hit a lot, And with Devin Haney seeing the type of performance that Shakur Stevenson put on, Devin Haney know.
Mm-hmm.
In his heart and soul, he cannot come out here and play no Patty K. Baker, man. Devin Haney got to come out here, yeah, be defensively responsible, but he has to come out here and really fight. And with him really fighting, like I've been seeing Devin Haney really fighting, he's going to have to give a little to get a little. And I think that's where Regis is going to have his opportunities to catch Devin Haney in between the punches. And when Devin Haney try to hold him, hit him on the inside, and how Devin Haney gonna react after 6 rounds, with a guy who hit hard like that. If Regis is able to be successful, which I think Regis can be successful. He made this statement earlier today. They asked Regis, how are you gonna be able to deal with Devin Haney's style? He said the question is now, not how am I gonna be able to deal with Devin Haney's style? I fight guys like Devin Haney all day. If you look at most of the guys, they fight like Devin Haney. It's like, how's Devin Haney gonna be able to compete with my style? And when Regis said that, I felt it. Like I said, JJ, I don't know who the winner gonna be. One day I may think it's him, one day I may think it's him. But as this fight getting closer, it can go either way.
Yeah, man. Shout out to George, the homie George, man. I love watching y'all keep up the great work. Y'all's vibe is on point. Now I will I was gonna respond to something you were talking about, Devin Haney. Oh, like, I don't know which one thing Devin's gonna bring to the table to beat Regis. because Regis is so damn awkward, bro. Like he's so damn awkward. Obviously, I think Devin's gonna have to just work the distance, and I think he'll be fine. But the most impressive thing about me about Devin Haney is how from one fight to the next, that body attack. I've talked about this before. The body attack against Lomachenko. That was something that he didn't bring in the past against much lesser competition, like a Cambosis. I feel like if Haney had that body attack against Cambosis, he'd have stopped him. But that tells me that Devin Haney doesn't think he knows it all. He's still learning in the lab. He said, I need to work that body against somebody like Lomachenko. That's dangerous. Being the taller guy to come down and go to the body, especially if you haven't been doing it your whole career. Devin Haney mastered it from one fight to the next against a great fighter in Lomachenko. All that tells me is that Haney's still learning. He's still getting better. He's still mastering his craft. And that's why I think he's going to make Regis Prograis a great young champion. He's just going to outclass him, bro. And it's just going to be, again, the levels to this thing.
Yeah, but the thing about that is a lot of people thought Devin Haney lost his last fight, right? A lot of people thought he lost that fight against Lomachenko. People didn't think that Regis lost his fight. They just think, it was a piss poor performance. He didn't look his greatest. But my thing, JJ, this is his moment. We done seen things happen like this. Where Regis know he has to come in here and really beat this guy. This is the most focused that he has to be going into any fight he's ever fought in, JJ. And I'm telling you, Regis Prograis is coming in here, to really try to hurt Devin Haney. And I'm telling you, if people think that Devin Haney is going to be able to be on the outside, and if they think Devin Haney is going to be able to grab Regis Prograis all the time in the inside without taking a punishment, y'all going to see a different story on December the 9th. I think this fight is close. You could go either way, but I'm telling you, Regis Prograis is going to come in this fight ready for everything Devin Haney bringing. I also agree. I think Devin Haney is going to come in likewise.
Hey, shout out to AJ64 who says if Regis gets inside, he's going to do damage on Devin. Let's not forget, man, Devin is a masterful. He's smart in there. He knows when to clinch. He knows when to hold. Like, just look how much he did it against Cambosis, especially in that first fight. He didn't do it so much in the second fight because he knew there wasn't much to be worried about from George Cambosis. But I can't wait to see it, dog. I can't wait to see it. And again, if I'm wrong, I hope I'm wrong. I don't like to see washes in boxing. I hope I'm wrong for the sake of the underdog and for the guy like Regis. I just don't see it, man. And I don't want to fall for the Kool-Aid. I don't want to drink the Kool-Aid. I don't want to drink the Kool-Aid, but that's how I feel about it.
No, it ain't about being right or wrong. We pick fights. We wrong and we be right. That's just the name. That's just a part of the game of the sport. Just like if we thinking we picking the Cowboy, we picking the Eagles. If it's we picking teams. If you do a weekly pick, you think these guys gonna win, the other team win. So that's just the way the ball bounces. And in boxing, it's the same way. But I'm just really, really, really looking forward to this fight. But I'm not excited that this fight is on pay-per-view. I think that's what's killing the sport. Also, this fight being on pay-per-view because these guys, if they're really trying to get known by the masses, right? This is the type of fight that you present to the masses where everybody from the 214, wherever you at, to across the pond has the opportunity to watch this fight instead of having to pay $60. JJ, this is a crying shame. And like I say, I'm not against anybody getting money, right? But I'm against anybody, getting money to where it don't make no sense. And putting this fight on pay-per-view, it don't make no sense, especially for the fans in boxing and them too. JJ, I don't know if this fight, and I'm being truthful and honest with you, I don't know if this fight do 5 or 10,000 pay-per-views. I'm being honest with you, JJ. I don't know if Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis do 5 or 10,000 pay-per-views. I think it's a total injustice. I think it's a great fight, but I think it's not a pay-per-view fight. And I think with boxing being where it's at right now, for them to deliver this to us on pay-per-view is just going to keep bringing boxing down, because this isn't the type of fight that everybody's, yeah, we want to see it, but it's not an uproar to where it deserves to be a pay-per-view fight.
I feel you, dude. I feel you. And unfortunately, that's just what we're at, dog. It's we touched a little bit on Tyson Fury and Ngannou, how much of a letdown that was of a fight for the boxing fans, at least for me it was. Another thing you and I haven't talked about yet. But we saw the pay-per-view numbers, right? And they're pretty piss poor, right? I forgot what the number was, but they didn't hit 100,000, right?
70,000.
Yeah. Yeah. And when a fight like that is designed to not be so much about the product, but to be about the feature and the circus and the event, when that fight doesn't sell tickets and pay-per-views, man, unless the real boxing fans are saying, no, I'm not spending my money on that shit. And maybe they're holding on to that money for the Regis and Devin Haney fight. But I'm with you. I don't see it doing shit. It doesn't have enough intrigue. There's not enough intrigue.
It's just like David Benavidez versus Dimitri Andre. Great fight. I like the fight.
Yeah.
But you're not a pay-per-view fight. Then you got Jose Benavidez, who lost to Danny Garcia 2 fights ago. He fights Jamal Charlo, who coming off a 30-month layoff as the co-main event undercard. JJ, this is what's killing the sport of boxing. What's your thoughts on them fights being pay-per-view?
Oh, I think it's at this point it's just business. It's PBC trying to squeeze out every penny they can get before they make the big move. Again, I'm not one to claim to know the business of boxing, but I do know a couple things. I do know a few things. I do know that bootlegging is real. Piracy is real, right? But piracy is also real for the UFC. Piracy is also real for the film industry in Hollywood. Piracy is still real for rappers and country singers and rock stars. Piracy is real for everything, right? The only difference between that piracy and our boxing piracy is everybody I just said does their best to put out the best product they possibly can because their fans are paying their hard-earned money. Not boxing piracy, though. Like, we don't give
that shit, JJ.
Dog, we don't want to see these pay-per-views. Life is hard. Hey, big industries. Hey, Showtime, PBC, everybody, whoever's listening, man. Life is hard, not just for y'all, but it's hard for us. It's like a circle of life. So we love the sport. We keep tuning in. We're the one thing that's keeping it alive. But just like all these other entertainers, they're putting out their best effort. I don't mind paying for a fight if I know that you guys are giving us the best product you possibly have. For the past 5, 6, I don't even know how many years, we've seen PBC continue to put out lackluster fight after lackluster fight when they have the loaded roster. Well, this is what happens. This is another thing you and I haven't talked about, Craig. This is what happens. I am sad to see boxing leaving a giant network like Showtime because, hey, that's another avenue for this beautiful sport to be on. But I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised based on what we've been seeing month after month after month. And instead of giving us a farewell present, they're giving us one more shitty pay-per-view. Yeah, I'm excited to see who wins these fights, but why should we pay for this, dog? And I mean, it's weird. I hope I made sense what I was talking about.
No, you make great sense. And yeah, being a childhood, HBO, Showtime, whoop-de-doo, memories, yeah. But I'm glad they're gone. I'm glad Showtime gone because Steven Espinoza been a joke for the sport of boxing. Steven Espinoza was at the head front. And also, I'm glad you brought up PBC. Now, JJ, you working, dealing with a lot of corporate people, right? You understand if a product is good, like months ago, we knew Showtime was cutting off. JJ, if PBC was a hot commodity right now, we would have been knowing about a deal being in place with them going to another network, Jay. It ain't no deal in place for PBC to go to another network right now, JJ. We ain't hearing nothing. And usually you hear something right now. People bring up stuff, but we would have usually heard a deal right now, JJ. My thing is Showtime gonna do boxing permanently on pay-per-view with
That's what I
PBC?
read. No, just when that, not exclusive to PBC. So only time Showtime will do I from what I read, it's just going to be pay per views, and it's not going to be very often either. Like it's not something that's set in stone. It's all good, bro. It's gone for what we know, dude. Like we're rarely going to see it.
And just that I encourage everybody. You know, I love boxing, but I'm not finna sit up here and encourage the antics that boxing put on. When you
Mhm.
know when you have people and you know who live in who probably making money, but they got families to feed. I'm not finna encourage people to buy these fights and support these boxers when they're not giving us what we want. I encourage people to continue doing what they're doing with the piracy. I don't like the fact that piracy around, but for boxing, piracy do need to be around because JJ, what needs to happen in boxing right now, needs to get broke down and get built back up, JJ, because we have to make these fighters, these promoters, understand we are the true bosses of boxing and make them put some respect on our name. Like you just stated, 5, 6 years. They've been totally disrespecting us, like total disrespect, and didn't care. And you can see in these new era fighters, their attitude, their I don't care attitude. Look at Jamal Charlo. He coming back fighting Jose Benavidez. Look at that. So I think boxing needs piracy because I think boxing needs to get broke down and built back up to where boxing put on the best fights out there that's going to make the consumer, that's going to make the public want to buy, watch, and support these fighters.
Well, I think boxing needs a breakdown on every level, including us, the fans, though, dog. Like, we got to hold our fighters accountable. We can't be saying, well, my fighter did this. You've heard me say this. Well, your
Yeah.
fighter does it. Like, when the best aren't fighting, like, the fans need to change our mindset.
Yep.
Like, the hell with the popularity contest, the hell with how many Instagram followers you have, the hell with all of that. Let's talk about who's putting asses in the seat. Let's talk about who's fighting the big fights, who's got the skills. All right. The fans need to change their way of thinking. The fighters need to change their way of thinking with this undefeated record shit. That's all that matters. Hey, I'm worth more. No, 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 no. Yeah, you're worth, and you're putting your life in the line, and we get all of that. But
I
at the
don't.
same time, you're choosing to fight. You're choosing
Facts.
to bypass college. You're choosing all of that. This is your career now. And part of that is you being an entertainer. So put on the fighters, the fights that we want to see. Then the promoters and the networks, like the whole damn sport, needs to be broken down. The only thing perfect about our sport is the sport itself. When the bell rings, ding, 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 those 12 rounds, 10 rounds are beautiful. All the bullshit right now on the outside, you, me, from the Espinoza to everybody, bro. It needs a complete tear down.
Oh
It's no
yeah.
and it's no surprise we're here. But also, we need to be held accountable too, dog.
Yeah, me myself
You know,
personally.
all of us, man. So it's
I blame myself. I blame myself for feeding into the nonsense, but you're right. And I done broke myself out of that. Listen, JJ, I have no hand on none of these fighters no more. Like I respect the game, but I'm not in the this ain't the sport of feelings. This is a sport of boxing. All right. And I don't care about your feelings. You know, I care about the sport of boxing. And if you ain't bringing and holding your weight to the sport of boxing, we must address you. We must call you out on your nonsense. But JJ, you have been one of them ones who've been preaching this, so you don't get too much blame for this. You have always preached you want to see the best fight the best. Forget what type of statue that this fighter think they own. You always been saying this. Go look at our episodes. You say this killed the sport of boxing. These guys thinking they're on this high plateau and they deserve this and they deserve that.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I got to give you your credit on that.
Hey man, and listen, I think we're at a point where the sport's gonna change, not because we're choosing to, but because we have to. Like, shit, Showtime doesn't give a shit about, oh well, they got a roster and all that. The only thing Showtime executives see is it making money or not, and it's not making money, so they have to move on. Yeah, this year was a great year for PBC, but it's too little, too late.
Too
It's
late.
not, you know what I'm saying? It's just throwing Hail Marys. Like it it's terrible, dog. So
And
I'm
another thing, Jay, I'm glad you brought that up earlier. Said we got to forget about these guys being undefeated. Let's talk about one guy. In my opinion, the biggest email champion in boxing,
oh
the
yeah,
new biggest email
the
champion in boxing, in Jerron Boots Ennis, Terrence Bud Crawford, like JJ, the nerve.
nerve,
Listen,
dog.
the audacity of the IBF and these commissions, bro. The way they did. Listen, look, I got no problem with sticking up for Terrence Crawford. I got no problem with criticizing Terrence Crawford. And in this moment, I'm sticking up for him. I done sticked up for him. I done made videos about this. JJ, it's a total injustice the way they did that dude and stripped him from that IBF belt in 4 months, JJ. I ain't got to name the boxers. Everybody know what other boxers that had these belts for a long time. But when it comes to Terrence Crawford, after 4 months, you want to strip him? JJ, that's the problem. These sanctioning bodies is the problem. JJ, I'm starting to think like, JJ, I think the Ring Magazine belt
That's where
should
it's
be
at.
the only belt
Mm-hmm.
that's in that a person should fight for, because these commissions not making their fighters fight. That's what's killing the sport. And also the reason why they're not making them fight, they're getting the 3%. Each champion they got getting 3%. So they're having 2 and 3 and 4 champions in each weight class, they say, to where they can get that percentage. I think for boxing to change, I think we really got to get rid of these boxing organizations, from the WBO, the IBF, the WBC, and I'm missing one, the WBA. We have to get rid of all of them and just go with the ring belt. That should be the only belt that matters, JJ. Because when you got this is why boxing messed up. When guys know that they can go another way and take the easier route instead of actually going after the real champion, that's what they're going to do, JJ. I think the Ring Magazine belt to help boxing should be the only boxing. I hope boxers understand this, because boxers, y'all getting robbed by these commissions anyway. Yeah, y'all got a belt, but out of y'all earnings, they taking 3% of that. And 3% is a lot with a belt you earned. Not them.
Oh,
Y'all went in that ring and earned that belt. Fighters, why should y'all have to pay for these belts? JJ, we have to get rid of these organizations. Like, I think the Ring Magazine belt, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm wrong, I think that should be
oh
the
yeah.
only belt that matters.
No sanctioning fees. You ain't got to pay to be part of the membership. It's just who's the best, who they feel the best. And let's, what's wrong with that? Craig, I feel like if the boxing gods or whoever was in charge of voting, and they send us out, every boxing YouTuber in the world, send out a ballot saying, hey, when you wake up tomorrow, will you rather be four major bodies or just one? What would you prefer? I feel like 100% of us would say, yeah, a world with one champion in every weight division. I get butterflies thinking about that, bro, because it eliminates so many problems. It eliminates so much fraud and corruption. It eliminates handpicking your fighters. It eliminates bad quality championship fights. Like, so much goes away, man, and it just comes from a place of greed. The sanctioned bodies want money. The fighters want to be recognized as champions, so they do whatever it takes to be champion, whether that means pay a little bit of money. Like, greed has taken over our sport, dog. It's been such a great year for boxing, but then the way we're finishing it off with Saturday's pay per view, and then again, say what you want about Haney and Regis, that being a pay per view, and it's a mess, dog. It's a mess. I can
Yeah,
hear. I know we haven't been live for a while, but I could see the frustration from what you've been posting lately about the whole sport.
yeah, I'm just frustrated, JJ. I'm frustrated because I'm not gonna stop covering boxing. See, my
No,
thing is, I'm gonna be a part of we gonna be a part of helping break it down and build it back up. Like I got to give Earl Spence credit when he came out and said, "Why are we paying y'all?
Yeah.
Why do we got to pay y'all after every fight? If we earn this belt, why do we pay y'all? What is they really doing for them? Like, what is the commissions doing for them? Because if they paying y'all ain't putting no money in their pocket. What? Because they get to wear the WBC hat. They get to put on the shirt. They get to have a headband. They coaches get to get a belt or something. What is y'all actually doing for these fighters? And like you said, Dana White, the perfect uh, platform to do it. It's one champion in each division, and whoever is undisputed, you undisputed. And I think that's the way it got to be, man. It got to be like that. But and we know it's not gonna get like that. But that's why boxing is steady going down. I don't see nothing getting greater about this sport no time soon. I'm not saying it can't happen, but like these fighters need to step up and be like, man, I'm not gonna keep paying y'all for these belts.
Somebody needs to snap out of it, dog, because you're right. Like, I think it also gonna have to. I think there's gonna have to be a point where you remember in the NFL when you were a star rookie, you're getting paid out the ass, and the NFL said, "Wait a second, let's tap the brakes." Like, I think boxing's gonna have to take a step backwards, bro, in terms of how much these fighters get paid, at least until the whole shit straightens out a bit. Like, you ain't gonna be seeing these super $50 million paydays for a while. And yeah, that might suck for one person, but for a sport as a whole, like, I'm okay with saying, all right, yeah, this fighter, my favorite fighter, ain't making 30 million a fight. That shit on the big picture is hurting the sport. When one man is bringing home $30 million in one night, big picture, that's hurting the sport, man. Because that's wealth that can be distributed. That's wealth that can be pumped into whatever, what. So it needs to change, dog. But we're just little old spit bucket trying to shake some shit up. But it's hey, it is what it is, dog.
Hey, but like I said,
I didn't need to say anything though about Bud getting stripped.
yeah,
I'm. It is it is just another sign of how disconnected the sport is with the fan base. Like, we've been licking our chops for years for that fight. We're gonna have an undisputed champ. We finally have an undisputed king. And now during their negotiations for a contracted rematch, now you're gonna trip and take away undisputed not only from the champ, but from the fan base. Like, damn, even Bud haters, even the Spence loyalists, that will say that was an injustice because we've been waiting so long to crown an undisputed champ, and you're just gonna snatch it. How disconnected, how out of tune are you, out of touch are you with your fan base? This is what drives the sport. Undisputed champ, man. And so, dog, we're so far off, bro. We're so far off from getting our shit cleaned up. And the only thing that makes this sport beautiful is when that bell rings and these two fighters say what you want about all of them. When they go in there, they leave it all on the line. As long as those guys keep doing that, we all have a responsibility to make this sport a better sport, dog.
And on that note, final thoughts?
You want to wrap up already?
Yeah.
It's time, man. Hey, my final thoughts is I'm glad to be back. Episode 50 is going to be good. So get with us on episode 50. But no, man, just glad to be back. It felt good to be back. So
yeah, man, I'm glad you back, bro. Man, it felt good, having my right hand man, my brother from another, who I could really break this down with, because me and you, we like rounds, boom, boom.
Hell yeah.
I wish you the best of holidays, man. Happy holidays to everybody out here, man. One thing I want everybody to do is enjoy your family, man. Love your loved ones, especially the ones who you extremely close with. Y'all take that serious, because life ain't always guaranteed. One day we here, the next day we could be gone. So I want everybody to make sure they love their family during these holidays. Make sure you love your significant other. If you got kids, make sure you give them extra kisses, because every day that we on this planet, it's a blessing. It's a blessing for me to be doing this podcast with my guy JJ Solomon, who I got much love for. Bro, just wish you and the family a happy holidays, man.
Likewise, brother. And I know we're gonna see you. If not, yeah, we'll see you either Friday, Saturday. We're gonna iron it out. So we'll break some bread together during this holiday week, man. But yeah, to Corey's point, you guys love. Show that gratitude. Don't take a second for granted. And y'all have a great holiday week. Have a great Thanksgiving. Go Cowboys. And we'll see y'all back for.
How about them? Hold up. Shout out to them Texas Rangers, though.
We
World
didn't
Series,
even this,
JJ,
bro.
World Series. JJ, listen, bro. This is the most out-of-body experience I had since the Cowboys Super Bowl, bro. Like the Rangers, bro, like we finna go, but it's just as close as we was in 10, 11, 12, whatever it was. And JJ to finally deliver, and Corey Seager to come out and say, after Houston tried to mock us, a lot of people didn't think the Rangers was gonna win the World Series. Guess they can't say that. We never know. But
hey, quick question.
Yeah.
You forgive Nelly Cruz yet? You get over there?
Yeah, I do, man. You know, I forgave him a long time ago, man. You know, it's just so hard.
Oh yeah.
When you at that moment, you're gonna always remember them critical plays that certain players don't make. And you know, and my favorite baseball player of all time, before I go, Rafael Palmeiro. He played for the Rangers, but that was my favorite baseball player. Even though he got caught up in the past, I've never seen a more beautiful swing in my life.
King Griffey Jr., bro.
Man.
I said Palmeiro, but I had to put King Griffey Jr.
No, I get it, but I'm telling you, Palmeiro, man, Rafael Palmeiro, his swing, it's the most beautiful swing I ever seen in my life. No lie. But salute.
All right, dog. Well, how did you soon, dog? Take it easy, man.
This is JJ Solomon.
This is Ray Bradshaw, Mr. RTB, and Mr. These boys can't touch me on my worst day. And this is the Spit Bucket Podcast.